Hello, my name is David Cherozia. I'm from Volgograd. I'd like to tell you about the portrait of the artist Adolf Izrailevich Mильмана by Ilya Ivanovich Mashkov, which is included in the collection of the Volgograd Museum of Fine Arts, named after Ilya Mashkov.
Ilya Ivanovich Mashkov is one of the most talented artists of his period. He was born on the 17th of July, 1881, in the village of Mikhailovskaya, the Khabarovsky district of the Don Kazakh region. At the age of 12, the author had been already working, and as a young man, he learned that there was a profession of an artist.
He entered the Moscow School of Painting, Sculpture and Architecture.
He understood that he needed to find his own way, that there was a skill and there was an art. The famous painting, The Portrait of the Artist Adolf Izrailevich Mильмана, was created nearly 1917. It was first presented to the public a century ago at the exhibition The World of Arts. This picture stands out in all his works of art. He painted his student and friend Adolf Izrailevich Mильмана. Mильмана is known to have been a member of the Jack of Diamonds Association with Mashkov and had been teaching in the studio. In 1918 they organized a meeting of artists together. Undoubtedly, these two masters, a teacher and a student, were in good terms, and the portrait expresses respect for the young master. But in the portrait, there is also a different, tragic note. The interior of the portrait seems to be a conceptual one. Here we see brushes in the glass, 3 horse skulls, and humans one. These objects have their own symbolic meaning for us.
They remind us of the end of a holiday, of sufferings, and frightening abysses. There it's better not to look.
Mashkov loves the evidence of the beautiful objects, strong colors. Here everything is very ascetic. There is a smack of bitterness, and in this, severity. If we're going to speak about this picture in details, here you can see two genres, the portrait and the still life. A still life here is some skulls of horses and humans. In addition to the skull, we see some other objects, brushes and a palette. There is a very conditional background here. We cannot see where the person is and where his objects are. The black color is superimposed on the table, the curbstone, the pedestal with a large brush stroke. There is an interesting composition of a chair, which is turned by an angle. The acute angle of a seat rests against the foreground of the picture. The same thing is with the curbstone and the pedestal. We see the image in 3 quarters, but there is a person depicted in 4 angles, and they are connected into a single unit. That is, we can look at the character from all sides, as a sculpture or a monument. The picture looks not only three-dimensional, but there is also some movement, and it's very important that the palette is depicted in a very interesting way. We see one palette, and then a part of a palette. This is not the second palette, but a shadow of it, which remains in the air if you twist it. Speaking about this portrait, there are 2 ideas. The artist wanted to portray his friend and student, to perpetuate him, and also he wanted to emphasize that the new man of the new time should be portrayed differently. Mashkov portrayed Mильмана as a 4-headed, 4-armed, 4-eyed. The master presents us with an extraordinary person, endowed with the superpowers, which fits well with the concept of the creative personality of a Silver Age. We see in him both strength, courage, enthusiasm, but at the same time, fragility and a feeling of a heavy burden. And now, the reason of my choice. This work of art has encouraged my desire to know it better. I was impressed by the mystery which painting was reflecting. I wanted to know the reason of author's will to portray his friend in that way. I wanted to figure out its meaning and charm.